Now, when it comes to asset protection trusts, there are domestic trusts and there are offshore trusts. What we've seen, if you look at the case law with domestic trusts, is that U.S. courts have jurisdiction over the domestic trustees. So if you have your assets in a domestic trust and you have a results-oriented judge, that judge can take the money out of the trust because that trust and the assets therein are inside of his jurisdiction. And we see this repeatedly with people like in California, New York, Florida, Texas, where they don't have asset protection trust laws. They set up let's say a Nevada trust, South Dakota trust, Wyoming trust. Those are decent trusts if you live in those states. The problem is when a judge in another state sees that trust, case law indicates, they'll say, okay, we're going to apply the law here in California, here in New York, Texas, Florida, and we're going to go ahead and seize those assets. And because the trust, the trustee, and the assets are all in the United States, the trustee, the banker, really doesn't have a whole lot of choice. They must comply with that U.S. court order. So what we call domestic trusts are better than not having any asset protection at all. They don't hold a candle to offshore asset protection trusts, and I'll tell you why. So what is an offshore asset protection trust and why does it work so well? Well, let me give you an illustration. So which jurisdictions are most favorable when it comes to the offshore trusts? There are three main jurisdictions. There's the Cook Islands down south of Hawaii. There is Belize, which is in Central America. And then there is Nevis, which is down in the Caribbean. Those three jurisdictions have the strongest laws when it comes to protecting assets from lawsuits. First of all, you have your offshore trust. And this box here that's right on my dock will represent the offshore trust. Now, inside the trust, we put a limited liability company, and that'll be represented by this cooler. And then we open the bank account inside of the name of the LLC, and my wallet will represent that bank account, which will go inside of the LLC. What we do next is we take this LLC and we put it inside of the trust. Now, somebody needs to be the manager of that trust, and that manager initially, in most cases, is you. So this line that we'll tie to the cooler represents your control of the LLC or your position as manager of that LLC. So this is the string of control to the money. So the trust owns the LLC and the LLC owns your bank account, and you're the initial manager that has the string of control for that bank account. Now, if you're sued in a U.S. court, this string of control represents a problem. The problem is, since the U.S. judge knows that you have the string of control, the judge can say, okay, since you have the control, use that string of control and pull the money out of the offshore bank account and pay it to your opponent. So that's the reason why we put the LLC inside of the trust. Our licensed bonded law firm that serves as the trustee can step in as manager of the LLC. Now, our law firm is licensed, bonded, vetted. I've been setting up offshore trusts for over 30 years now. So now the manager of the LLC is our licensed bonded law firm. The judge says, give me the money. And our licensed bonded law firm now over here says, sorry, judge, you didn't have jurisdiction here. We don't need to comply with your court orders. So this string in your hand means all of your money is gone. The string in our law firm's hand means all of your money is safe and secure. Now, the next question we often get is, how do we know we can trust the trustee company? The Cook Islands, Nevis, and Belize trustee industry are three of the most highly regulated trustee jurisdictions in the world. The trustee goes through tremendous background checks to even get a trustee license. And like I always say, the older I get, the less I listen to what people say and the more I watch what they do. Because I've been in the asset protection industry for 33 years, I have seen the pattern of behavior of the different trustees in the various jurisdictions. I have a Cook Islands trust for myself and my family, and our trustee law firm is the only signatory on that account, mainly because I want to practice what I preach. But keep in mind, the only time they really need to step in is when the courts would take your money, when the judge can use your string of control to force you to give the money to your opponent. Therefore, all the money would be gone anyway. So wouldn't you rather have a licensed bonded trustee company, our law firm that has never taken any client's money, just simply do what you've paid them to do, and that's protect your money? So that's the power of the international trust and why it works. What we're doing is we're taking the string of control outside the hands of the local courts. And that's how an offshore asset protection trust protects your money, and that's why it's so powerful.